up, I'm going to introduce you to Seth Haig, who is the principal of MAG-AMB Development, and he's going to talk a little bit about his background, his project, and take it away.
Yeah, thanks, Seth. So I've known this man for about 5-6 years, so thank you for having me. MAG-AMB Development is a full-service real estate development company. I work on workforce housing, both affordable and workforce, hospitality, and land development. One of the projects that we're working on is in my hometown. I grew up in Seaside. I went to Seaside High School, proud alum of University of Oregon. I see some Ducks out there, so let's go Ducks. So I'm picking my own fights. So had the opportunity to work with a developer who's owned this beautiful site right on the peninsula in Hammond, Oregon, and about 270 acres, right? We've done some extensive market studies of the site. You can see we've done about 60 acres we've recognized as the highest and best use of the 70 acres. We've applied a planned use development, a PUD, to extract some of the density from those roughly 210 acres to that 60 acres to maximize roughly 450 doors. So 210 of those are going to be 4% LIHTC apartments. And then there's going to be roughly 30 units of townhomes, for sale townhomes, that we're going to leverage some synergies we have with the volumetric modular industry. And then we're going to be building roughly 210 single-family detached homes. We are currently in the process of introducing a model that's really popular in the Sun Belt called build to rent. It's effectively a horizontal multifamily play where one owner will manage and own and operate all of these single-family detached units as a multifamily complex. We will also have the opportunity to sell these units, which will be roughly 1,600 to 1,800 square feet, 3 and 4 bedroom units. Again, looking to leverage volumetric modular to expedite the construction process and bypass some of the restrictions we have from a labor standpoint in some of these tertiary markets, such as Warrenton. So, gotta look at my notes.
Seth, can you also talk a little bit about what kind of drove the vacancy and kind of what drove that project?
Oh, sure. Yeah, sorry. So through the process of backing into the density, right, 450 units is kind of an arbitrary number if you don't back it up with data, right? So we were running comps around the county, and you can see a list. I think there's 5 or 6, maybe even a few more, maybe 8 or 10 different complexes that really have anywhere between 50 to 125 units, and maybe a few more. But the vacancy rate for that area, for Clatsop County, was 0.2%. And that includes market rate housing. It's ridiculously low. I've never seen anything like this. We ran this through Novogradac, which is a national market feasibility company, and they do this all around the country. And they actually apologized, thinking that they had misrepresented the data. And they actually went back and redid it for us, and they came back with the same number. So we were originally entitled for 316 single-family detached homes. We realized that there's an increasingly serious demand in this market for multifamily as well as for first-time home buyers. So we wanted to create a mix of housing options that we felt was going to be the highest and best use from a development standpoint, but also from a community involvement standpoint. In terms of some issues that we've been running into, obviously this is a relatively large development in that market. I believe it's the second or third largest in the county ever from a unit, per unit standpoint. And so we were running into some issues with wastewater treatment capacity, and had been working with the Mayor Ballensiefer and City Manager Esther Moberg and their staff, who has been incredible to work with. We have had the opportunity to have an ongoing dialogue of where that capacity really was and where our timelines really would align. And unfortunately, we were not necessarily aligning on that front. So the development team had to go back to the drawing board and had to troubleshoot troubleshoot a little bit. And so we were looking at package treatment plants, maybe possibly bringing this just all on the private side, which is where we found Orenco. And we had, I actually called Jonathan, I don't know, maybe a year ago. And
About a year ago, a little less than a year ago.
A little less than a year ago, and we started the process of understanding what this would look like. And he came back and said, hey, we actually may have a better alternative for you and could really make this cost effective and you're still able to hit your timeline.